Oh, what a massive afternoon at the Riverside Stadium. Middlesbrough beating Norwich City 1-0 in a match that was pretty entertaining, pretty cagey, a lot of chances in there, but also just a massive result. It was very nerve-wracking at the very end of the game. I think going into the game, you knew that it was going to be an exciting one. I think you knew it was going to be a nervy one. Norwich have been playing really well. They've got 4 wins in a row. I think they'd scored 14 goals coming into this one. Of course, they just beat Coventry City on Monday evening as well, and of course Middlesbrough been in electric form as well. So you were 2 good sides, 2 in-form sides coming head to head at the Riverside Stadium, and you just knew that. Well, I mean, to be fair, I thought there was going to be more goals than what there was, but there was certainly goal malfaction. I mean, Middlesbrough going into it made 2 changes. Riley McGree came into the side. He came into the side in place of Leo Castledine, who missed out, and that was due to an injury that he came in. Callum Britton came back into the side as well. He started. He was on the bench against Preston last week, but he came into the other back line with Dale Fry dropping to the bench, and it was a really exciting first half. In particular, Middlesbrough had a couple of really good early opportunities. Norwich City then came back into the game, and their attacking trio, who I was really impressed with, caused a lot of problems for Middlesbrough's defence. It was very different to last week's game against Preston North End, when Middlesbrough just barely broke a sweat at the back. We were just in complete control. Norwich certainly offered a lot more going forward and were a real danger all the way through the match, to be honest. Things were looking a little bit nervy for Middlesbrough until Hayden Hackney stepped up with a goal that he could only have dreamed of, surely. Picking up the ball about 25 yards out, it came from some really good pressing work from Tommy Conway and Aidan Morris. The ball landed to Hayden Hackney about 25 yards out, and he lashed a wonderful effort into the top corner of the net. You've never seen a sweeter strike in your life. It was just an absolutely glorious goal, and in the end it proved to be a goal that made all the difference. Middlesbrough had good spells. We perhaps weren't as fluent in attacking areas as what we've been in other areas. Of course, Norwich are a good team, well drilled under this new boss anyway. They weren't previously, but they are now looking like a really good team. I think their league position is a little bit false based on how they're performing at the moment, but we did all right second half. A little bit cagey, a little bit more nervy. Big flashpoint in the game when Norwich City probably should have been down to 10 men. Their goalkeeper wiped out Tommy Conway, very similar to the incident against Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough. He was wiped out just outside the penalty area after fans were desperate to see the goalkeeper sent off, because it was a very very foul and a goal scoring opportunity as far as I'm concerned. But the referee decided to give a yellow card, perhaps based on a replay. It might have been that Tommy Conway was running away from goal, so was it a clear goal scoring opportunity? There was also a defender running back, but there's no doubt, had he not been taken out by the goalkeeper, all he was going to do was tap it into an empty net. So I think Middlesbrough felt pretty hard done by at that point. It perhaps made things a little bit more nervy than it could have been. That could have been a moment which decided the game, I guess, because if Tommy Conway had scored that goal, it probably would have been game over. But what followed was a really nervy last 20 minutes or so. I haven't experienced that sort of anxiety, I guess, at a game for quite a while. It was just there was a real feeling that it was just a massive occasion, a massive game, and a massive 3 points on the board as well. I think at that point, Ipswich Town were losing, Coventry were losing, so there was obviously the prospect of Middlesbrough going level with Coventry and pulling even further away from Ipswich. And of course we were winning, but Norwich were pushing forward. They had their opportunities. McArmer, the striker, he blazed over the bar with a really good effort, and then Dale Fry, who came on in the second half, performed a wonderful clearance. The forward rounded Saul Brinning goal. Dale Fry got back and managed to clear it to safety, which was massive, and quite frankly gave Middlesbrough those extra 2 points in that contest. So it got to the end very very nervy, but the relief around the Riverside Stadium was absolutely massive. It was the biggest cheer. It was probably the best atmosphere that I've seen here. We were just talking about this in the media room. Best atmosphere we've seen here since potentially even Chelsea in the FA Cup. It was that good. It was just absolutely electric, and you could really see what it meant to supporters. I think it was a result that, in my opinion, and potentially in the opinion of other supporters, might just have been the result that really cemented our place as promotion hopefuls. Of course, we've been doing well in the table. We've been winning games. We've been up there and thereabouts. But I think there's always been that little thing of what will happen as the season unfolds. Will we be able to sustain this run of form? Will we be able to win the games? Because there's a lot of football still to play. Going into this one, there was 17 matches left in the campaign. So would Middlesbrough be able to do that? But the fact that we were able to secure this victory, a huge victory against a really good Norwich City team on the day, the fact that we were able to grind it out, get that 3 points in a performance which wasn't our best, but a performance that we were able to get that 1-0 win. It just felt like a massive moment in the season. It felt like a huge win. It felt like a huge 3 points, and it felt like a real statement, I guess, in terms of what Middlesbrough are really and what we're capable of doing over the course of this season. So it means that we're level on points with Coventry City at the top of the championship table. We're now on 30 games played, so you're starting to look towards it being in the sort of the final knockings. You're moving into the final third of the season where these results really start to matter. Hull City won, so they're right up there as well. So it's really going to be starting to get quite tense at the top there now. But for Middlesbrough, just what a massive win that was. It was a real, I mean, in the press box there's a thing called press box etiquette, where you're meant to be professional and impartial and keep your head down and get on with your work and whatever like that. But so hard. I was kicking and heading every single ball, particularly in that second half, because it got really, really nervy at times. But the fact that we were able to get that win, able to see it over the line, just felt absolutely massive. And you saw from the other celebrations at the end, Kim Hellberg, Hayden Hackney, Jeremy Sarmiento in front of the Red Faction. You could see just what it meant to everyone, and you can just feel that something's brewing, I guess, at the Riverside Stadium. I just almost dropped my phone. You could see that something's really brewing here, something really special. And I think that today was what cemented that for me. I think there's something really good being built this season. I think we're the real deal. I think we're a side who can go on and secure promotion, is what I'm going to say now. I do think we're capable of doing so. I'm not saying that we will do it, but I think we're capable of doing it. I think we've got all of the minerals to be able to do it, in terms of the quality, in terms of the steel at the back. Of course, we've got the January transfer window or deadline day coming up on Monday, so just 2 days' time. A little bit of work still to be done there. Of course, we want to sign a striker to add a few more goals to the team. There's going to be updates on that. I'm sure we will be pushing to sign someone. But David Strelec was back in the team for this match against Norwich, which was great. Tommy Conway, of course, scoring goals, and when you've got people like Hayden Hackney who's able to find the back of the net, that's brilliant as well. I won't go into too much detail on this because I don't want to spoil it for someone else. But Hayden Hackney was speaking after the game, and I think he was asked about January and the potential for a move before deadline day, and let's just say there was some slightly positive news on that, so that's a really good thing as well. He was absolutely wonderful again against Norwich. That goal was incredible. In his press conference just then, Kim Hellberg basically said that he was too good to play for Middlesbrough, meaning it as a compliment, not meaning any sort of transfer him, but just saying that he's just too good to play for the team. But the fact that he knuckles down, he's a big character in the dressing room, he's a leader, someone who leads by example, is just absolutely brilliant. And he's someone who could be a massive player for Middlesbrough between now and the end of the season. For me, he probably could be the difference between us getting automatically promoted and not. So obviously keeping him fit will be absolutely huge as well. A new striker potentially on the way in. Could potentially be some outgoings as well. People like Sverri Nipan, Mika Hamilton, Steny Dieng, all players who could leave, potentially Sonjay Hansen. Time will tell, I guess. I don't think there'll be too many in the way of incomings, potentially that striker that's been talked about, but if that doesn't happen, I don't think Kim Hellberg will be too disappointed, because we do have some really good attacking options there as well. So I'll have all of the latest news on that going into deadline day. I'll have all of the reaction as well, so if there's anything big coming out of the Riverside Stadium, I'll be responding to it. So if you have enjoyed this, please do comment below. Let me know whether you think that Middlesbrough can get promoted. I've put my neck on the line and said that I think we're capable of doing it now, which is the first time this season I've done so. If you think we're capable of getting promoted, drop into the comments below and let me know. And if you have enjoyed this, please do hit subscribe as well. There's going to be more coming in terms of transfer news, and also after that, potentially a promotion running. Whoa, who can believe it? What a couple of months we've got ahead of us. Based on this, it's going to be a really, really exciting end to the season, and I can't wait to bring it to you here on Bonkers for Boro. So I'll catch up with you later. Enjoy a beer this evening, and I will catch up with you on Monday, on deadline day. Up the Boro.